What's new with Google? Well, lots, but Classroom's definitely been the rave in education this year. When Classroom was released in beta back in June, teachers and administrators could not wait to get it implemented in their schools. And Classroom is here, and it's gone through several stages of improvement. And this is a brief introduction to Classroom and then a demo on how you can use the tools, including the most advanced features. So starting out, that Google created Google Classroom to help teachers organize and create their assignments, get them out to the students, get them back, and also be able to provide feedback effectively. And provide an option for communicating with their classes and a hub for all the resources. To access Classroom, you go to classroom.google.com. The first time you go there, you will need to select your role as a teacher in order to be able to make classes. So make sure if you're going to classroom.google.com for the first time, pay attention to what you're clicking here. Don't make the mistake of being a student when you really are a teacher. You can create your first class immediately once you select teacher. It will bring you to the screen. You click on the plus sign and you're ready to create a class. You can create that instantly and have this interface ready to go. This is the Google Classroom dashboard. Once you've created your first class, when you go to Google Classroom, you're going to see the classes that you've created, and they look like cards on a board. The course homepage itself has 3 links at the top: Stream, Students, and About, the title you've provided for your course, and then a link here to change the theme. On the Stream page, you have the option to create announcements and assignments. You'll see upcoming assignments within, I believe, the upcoming 7 days to the left, and then links to Students and About, which we'll describe later. Let's take a look at announcements first. When you select announcement to create a new announcement, you have the option of adding video links to YouTube, web links, documents, attachments, and files. You can post to several classes at once, and you can pose it as a discussion prompt as well and allow for commenting from the students. I'll show you on the students page that you do have the ability to moderate who can post. So if you need to mute a student, you can do that. If you want to just allow students to comment but not create posts, you can do that too. For the assignment, if you create an assignment, you can add a name, a due date, and a description. You can attach resources such as video or web links, attachments, whatever you need, and send it out again to several classes at once. You can push out a doc individually to each student, which I think is the most powerful use of it, because it instantly shares, creates the sharing, so students and teachers don't have to figure out how these docs are going to get shared, and they get placed in one easy to access folder for both the student and the teacher. And we'll get into that when we go through the demo later in this broadcast. For submitted assignments, students lose their ability to edit upon submission, but they do have the ability to unsubmit. So they can take it back and make changes and then resubmit, and there is a submission history. Teachers can access the file and documents and add comments once they're turned in or while they're working on them. And they can grade and return the assignment once the student has submitted it. On the students page, you see that on the left here you have the ability to what's called invite students. You won't directly add them. What will happen is if you invite a certain select group of students, when they log into Classroom, they will see a card with your course and the option to join. Or you could just simply have students arrive at class or send them a memo and say, go to classroom.google.com and click on join class and give them the class code, which you can see here. You have the ability to moderate commenting, so you can edit the access to the comment stream here as well. The email interface works as a group email where if you check this box, you can select everyone in your class and send an email message or just select a message individually. You can select one student and moderate their commenting ability as well. And we'll show you that in a moment as well. To add students, if you choose Invite, you're going to be prompted to select from your Mail contacts over in Mail. So if you have any groups set up for your classes and contacts, you certainly can invite from that. Or if you have groups set up in your domain, you can now click on Groups and invite from groups that are built into your domain. Again, I think the easiest is to provide the code and have students just join the class. You can email some, all, or one. On the About page, you have the ability to provide the resources for your entire class. So at the top, you see you have the name of your course. You can put the room number, location. There's a link to your email and a link to the folder for this class. Here you can add your calendar, website, syllabi, videos, your Google Form surveys. This area can be a hub for all your class resources. So I'm going to demo now. If you want to take a look at classroom.google.com, just remember classroom.google.com, sign up as a teacher. You can also add an app, and if you go to the Chrome Web Store, you can add just a quick link to Classroom. That'll show up as an app on your app launcher. Alright, so now I'm ready to demo Classroom. Let me just go to classroom.google.com. Here you can see that I have these cards set up for each class that I have created, and we'll use the grade 7 science as an example. So once you have a class created, by clicking on plus create class, in the classroom, you can change the theme. So on the right hand side here, you have the ability to select a new theme. So if I wanted to change the theme, I could do that. On the stream here, you can see the announcements and the assignments. I already have an announcement here that I'm using as an icebreaker and discussion prompt. So here I ask the question, what roles do trees and forests play in the water cycle? And I provide a video. I'll be expecting my students to comment on this. I have another video. We are studying the water cycle this month. Watch this video and then comment on what might be a threat to the water cycle. And then Cameron writes pollution, and I write good. That's great. That's a good point for searching. So I want the class now to search for information on how pollution affects the water cycle and add more details here. So you can see that can be a way to have a discussion, icebreaker, to get kids thinking more critically about a topic that you're studying, and take advantage of the resources that you can add to the announcement. When you create the announcement, you have the ability to add a web link here, a link to a YouTube video, which you'll end up with a thumbnail, a Google Drive item, or attachment, image file from any file from your computer. Let's post an assignment. If I click on the assignment link now, I'm going to call this Water Cycle, Fast Facts, and Drawing. I can add a description with more details about what they need to do. In this case, I have all the directions in a doc that I've created in Google Drive. So I'm going to go to Google Drive and show you what Classroom looks like there. When you create your first class in Google Drive, you get a Classroom folder. And inside that Classroom folder will be all of the courses you've created. Here, we're working with grade 7 science. I created a water cycle assignment. This is a document that I'm going to push out to all of my students so they all have their own copy that they can edit. The directions are here, and I will just prompt them to get rid of the directions as they complete each step and then create their final product and pass it in. I'm not going to have to access Drive in order to send that assignment out to my students. All I have to do is click on Attach a Google Drive item, and then I'll search through Classroom for the document that I've created. I'll select it and add, and then on the Student Access option menu, I will select to make a copy for each student. If I were sending out something I wanted them to just read, something I wanted them to make a copy of, I would say students can view the file. But in most cases, I want to have something and push it out, even if it's a blank doc, to each student, because the minute that they open that assignment, I have instant access to the document and can provide formative assessment, which I will show you in a moment. So I'm going to select make a copy for each student. I can select a due date as well, and then assign. If I wanted to assign to more than one class at this time, I would go ahead and select each of those classes that I wanted to assign to. I have now created an assignment for 2 classes in my classroom. We're going to move on to the students page, and then we'll go back to assignment later once we have a student actually access and work on the assignment. So on the students page, we have a list of students here, but how did they get here? Well, they came to logged into their domain and entered the class code, or I invited them and they clicked on join. So if you click on invite, you can see that it looks through your mail contacts, and you can then search and grab by groups, and you can invite a whole group or some of that group, or you can go into your domain and pick a class and invite that way. Here I can change the modifications for commenting. Students can post and comment. Students can only comment. Only teacher can post or comment. So here I'll say students can only comment. I'm really going to drive the posts, and I'm going to be prompting students for comments. Should I run into an issue where I have to mute somebody, I just select them, and then under actions I can either remove them from class, email them, or mute them from the comment stream. When my students arrive, they're going to have their assignment, but I also want to have my about page populated. So you can see that I have my email, and I cite that our location is online, but here there's a link to my homework calendar. If they click on it, it brings them directly to my Google Calendar where I post homework. So again, a hub for everything. My syllabi can be here. I can even have video or Google Forms linked here as well. So just consider the About page a great hub for all your course resources. Alright, so I do have a student in class, Betty Cooper, who I'm going to now show you what her view is and how she completes an assignment. So as you can see now, if I click on the water cycle fast facts assignment I've created, nobody's done it yet. Nobody's accessed it. And if I click on the folder where all the assignments will end up, you can see that it's empty because indeed nobody has accessed the document yet. If I log in as Betty and go to Google Classroom, you can see that she has already joined the grade 7 science class. You can see that she's been invited to the Google pre-certification training but has not yet joined. And this is what it looks like if you invite a student. They will see the card to your class, the link to your course, and the ability to join. This can be problematic if your students might be inclined to decline, so it's sometimes easier to just create your class, tell them to come on in, go to classroom.google.com, give them the code, and tell them to join the class. And then you can just check off the list that everyone's joined the class at the time, and you don't have any dilemma on why aren't some students here? Okay, so now I go to class. I'm Betty Cooper at AM Technology, and this is Mrs. Malika's class, and there's her icon from her profile picture, and there's a link to email her. Isn't that great? I see I have an assignment here, so I'm going to click on it. And when I click on it, it takes me to the assignment window in Google Classroom. And if there were any further instructions there, I could go ahead and read them. The assignment might prompt me to create a doc, But in this case, my teacher has pushed it out, which to me is really the ideal option. So I'm going to click on it, open it up, and here it is. I can get to work on it. The minute I access that assignment, the teacher then can see by clicking on the folder who's working on the assignment. So Betty Cooper's opened it and is working on it, and as the teacher, if I were working in a class period, I could then go into each student's document and start giving them feedback early on in the game and help them along or see how they're doing. So that's how it works. You've got your Google Drive classroom folder, and then you have your course folder for that class. And because I've created the water cycle fast facts and drawing folder, you can see Betty Cooper's assignment is in there. So back at the home page, nobody's turned it in. 0's done, 0 out of 12 are done. Back to student. I'm ready to turn it in. I click on turn it in. That turn it in button brings me back to classroom, and I can even add more information. Please let me know what I can improve. And now I'm ready to turn it in. So Betty has turned in the assignment, can unsubmit if need be, and as the teacher, when I go to my classroom, instantly I can see one is done. And when I click on the assignment here, I can see that Betty Cooper has passed it in. I can go ahead and open it up. I can then provide a grade, and I can return the assignment. And I can give additional feedback when I return it. You can take this exchange to any level you want. Just keep in mind that the beauty of this is the workflow, that instant connection to the doc, and that organization as well. So for every assignment you create, a folder is created for that assignment, and when students turn it in, it'll show up in the folder. That's Google Classroom in a nutshell. Any questions? Please email me, AllisonMalika@gmail.com. Have a great day.